Another day, another legendary band reaching their quote-unquote end of the road, and this time it's the Brazilian metal band Sepultura, who, alongside the announcement that they would be closing up shop after 4 decades, also announced quite a large chunk of a massive 18-month worldwide farewell tour. Let's discuss. Today, Sepultura announced during a press conference that they would be saying goodbye after 40 years with a massive 18-month world tour, and then released the following statement via social media. Sepultura has reached the end of the road and has chosen to depart via a conscious and planned death. Throughout the next 18 months, we will celebrate 40 years of existence together, along with our loyal fans on a farewell tour across the entire globe. It will be a celebration of the past and the present for one final time. After 4 decades filled with ups and downs, having visited 80 countries and countless different cultures, we've had the chance to become Brazil's messenger to the world and spread our colors and rhythms worldwide. With our latest studio album, Quadra, a highlight of our career, we added an unforgettable chapter followed by the Sepultura experience that helped us to overcome the difficult times of the pandemic together. We will unite our forces for one final, strong farewell, and all of you can be a part of it. During this 40th anniversary tour, we will record 40 live tracks in 40 different cities and release a massive compilation of our best, most energetic moments on stage. We are happy and very grateful for everything we could witness within the past 4 decades. We have released great albums and played unforgettable shows, cultivated friendships, met our idols, contributed to placing Brazilian metal on the world map, and therefore feel that we can leave the music scene with a sense of duty fulfilled. We've always had the best fans in the world who supported us with praise and criticism, who were demanding and intelligent, who grew together with the band and have always been loyal. Without you, none of this would have been possible. This album and this tour are for you. Dear Sepul Nation, we love you and always will. Euthanasia, the right to a dignified death. The right to choose to live free and to choose when you die. Alongside this statement, which, by the way, I guess this farewell has been in the making for like 2 years now, they announced 3 separate legs of touring so far for 2024, including a Brazil leg, a Latin American leg, and a massive European tour featuring Ginger, Obituary, and Jesus Piece all supporting, which, I mean, what a monstrous lineup. And that same lineup would just absolutely crush over here. Although I don't really see Ginger opening for Sepultura over here. I think Ginger is probably the bigger band. Although at the same time, Ginger is also massive in Europe. So who knows? But nonetheless, if you're in Europe, I mean, fuck. Sepultura, Ginger, Obituary, Jesus Piece, all together. What a killer lineup. If they really want to go out with a bang, though, they've got to get something on the books with the founding members, Max and Igor Cavalera, before they quote-unquote ride off into the sunset. Feels super unlikely. I highly doubt it would happen, but I do think that it's also super necessary that they at least attempt to put something together before they say farewell. Look at Kiss, who supposedly played their final show last week in Madison Square Garden. No mention from Gene or Paul of Ace or Peter. No tribute to Eric Carr. Nothing like that. No talk of any of the previous members. Nothing. And the disappointment from the fans because of that has certainly been a major talking point this week. It's disrespectful to the past members of the band. Because without them, you would not be where you are. Why, though, did the founding Cavalera brothers leave the band to begin with, although their departures were a decade apart? Starting with Max, tensions began to rise during the making of the band's 6th album, and arguably their biggest album to date, 1996's Roots. Max's wife, Gloria, was managing the band at the time, with her contract set to expire at the end of 1996, with 3 of the 4 members, including Max's brother Igor, guitarist Andreas Kisser, and bassist Paulo, wanted to move a different direction for management as they felt that Gloria prioritized Max above everybody else in the band, which obviously I wasn't there, but I could see how that, when you're one of your bandmates is married to your manager, I could see how that could be a problem. Max, of course, was the only holdout because, well, how do you fire your wife? She's still Max's manager to this day in all of his different projects. She's really kind of like a mini Sharon Osbourne at this point. But he felt that while she was managing Sepultura, that she had been successful with the band, as I guess at that time they were getting big festivals, things like that. So, who knows? Obviously, you're not going to let your wife go, but, he thinks she was doing a great job. The band did not. According to Andreas Kisser in an interview with Metal Hammer, though, things had started to go kind of weird before that. When Max and Gloria's son Zion was born, instead of putting a band on the cover of a magazine, they had Max with his kid. That's nothing to do with the band. To have a kid is not that special. I have 3 myself. I love them, but I don't use them as a trophy. Now, where things get real fucking weird, though, is in 1996, same year as Roots came out, same year as all these tensions came to a head, Sepultura was set to perform at Monsters of Rock over in England when Max and Gloria received the news directly from Andreas Kisser that Max's stepson, Gloria's biological son, Dana Wells, had tragically passed away in a car accident at the age of 21. Upon learning the news, Max and Gloria both immediately flew over to the U.S. To handle that, leaving Sepultura to perform at Monsters of Rock as a 3-piece with Andreas handling vocals. In an interview with Heavy One Hard Force Radio, though, Max has quite the story to tell about how the other band members, or really another band member's wife, handled the whole situation with Dana dying, saying, quote, "We were in England ready to do Donington with Ozzy, and we received the news that Dana died. And my wife was in total despair, and I'm her husband. I have to comfort her. So I flew back to America to be with her. And I found out later that Andreas' wife tried to move the body, tried to steal Dana's body, and tried to get him buried real quick so we could go back on tour." I was like, who does that? It seriously made me think about the people I'm making music with. Are those my real friends? It was confusing, man. Eventually, things fell apart to the point of no return, with Max leaving the band, ended up forming Soulfly and being replaced by Derrick Green from Cleveland, Ohio, who, by the way, Derrick has been such a trooper. I mean, he's put up with a lot of shit. Still to this day, fans clamoring for Max to return. Props to Derrick. He's done a great job filling the spot. But anyways, with Max concluding in a 2022 interview, the fans always go, "She broke up the band." She referring to Gloria. And the truth is, we grew apart. We started hating each other, man. It happened to the Beatles, and it happened to many other bands. Pantera. It's just how it is. We didn't find the joy in playing with each other anymore. I'd rather they blame me than her or somebody else. Blame me for Sepultura splitting up. I would much prefer that. As for Igor, just like with his brother Max, there's a number of reasons that play into Igor's decision to depart from Sepultura in 2006, with family being a major priority for him, as he has previously recalled. The decision to leave Sepultura wasn't hard. It was harder to continue without my brother. We had just had a son, and my wife is really sad. Your brother has never seen our son. That's not right. And I was like, she's right. So I reached out and talked to him. That was the first step. He continues, I flew to Phoenix to hang out with Max. We were influenced a lot by the whole thing with Pantera, the Dimebag thing, which, by the way, today is the 19th anniversary of Dimebag's tragic murder in Columbus, Ohio. Anyways, look, these guys cannot do what we're doing right now. We know how life, it's super short. So I was like, fuck it. I just want to hang out with my brother. At the time of Igor's official departure, and I say official departure because following a December 2004 tour, he had been absent from the band. He had taken a break with Stone Sour and, ironically, ex-Soulfly drummer Roy Mayorga in his place. He noted he had different reasons for quitting, saying in part to Blabbermouth at the time, the main thing really that changed, it was after the European tour that Sepultura did with Roy on drums. I had a meeting with Andreas before he left for that tour, and then we had another meeting when he came back. And before he left, at the only meeting that we had, we pretty much agreed on all those things that everybody knew, that I was willing to take a break. I wasn't thinking or even saying anything about leaving the band, even though there was a lot of rumors going around. But my intention was really to continue doing this and taking a break. And we even talked about how we wanted to have an injection of new energy in the band, and that was something that with this break, we might have been able to achieve that. to think about and reflect on a lot of different things. That was the plan. When he came back from that tour, we had another meeting, and in that meeting, he just showed me a completely different side of it, where he didn't feel like my break would be good for the band and good for everything, and he wanted to really continue doing a lot of touring and a lot of shows. They were already booking a lot of shows that I didn't know about, and things like that, which pretty much led me to make this decision. While there have been numerous rumors and offers over the years for a Sepultura Cavalera reunion, nothing has obviously ever materialized, but what better time than now? Even if it's only for one show, the quote-unquote final ever Sepultura show, which presumably I'd have to imagine will be in Sao Paulo, Brazil. What an incredible way to go out that would be. One last show, ending your career in a similar way to the way you started 4 decades ago. At that point, it'll be 41 years, which is just insane. Only time will tell if that will happen, but fingers crossed. However, fear not. If you're still clamoring to hear Sepultura tunes long after the band has said farewell, Max is on the road 12 months out of the year, it seems like, and I'm sure at some point soon he'll do a Sepultura themed set. So no worries there. But still, to see Max and Igor together with Sepultura one last time, come on, you gotta fucking make it happen, man. All right, though, I gotta run. My fiance is waiting for me to go deep down into her roots, although I hope they're not bloody. I don't think it's that time of December, though, so I should be good, so I gotta go. But thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.